Hello, friends, and welcome back. It's part 2 time. We're doing part 2 of my performance review for the SBS Gayo that happened at this point like a week ago. I'm just running behind schedule, but either way, this is part 2. Part 1 came out a few days ago. I'll put it in the description so you can watch it if you want to know how I feel about the first half of the stages. Today we're doing the second half. Also, just like with part 1, I'm going to chapter this video just so you can jump around to whichever stages you care about, and also you can see who's actually in the video because there were a lot of performers at the SBS Gayo and they're not all in this video. So you can see who's here, you can go to what you want, you can do what you wish. Next, soompi article in the description. It has all the stages for the most part. I checked it the other day. They took down one of them. I don't remember which one. I think it was TVXQ. But like most of the stages are there and it tells you what songs were performed. So I'm going to put that in the description so you can watch the stages if you wish. And also, that's the order we're going in. I stopped at Le Seraphim. We're going to pick back up with IVE and we're just going to go in order because I'm feeling lazy. Lastly, just to cover my bases, these are opinions, okay? These are my thoughts. You can disagree with all of them, and that's totally fine. Okay, I think that covers everything I want to cover. Let's get back into it. As I just said, we're going to start out with IVE. Our next performer we're discussing is IVE, and they began by performing Off the Record. And it was fine. Like, it's not my favorite IVE title, even of the ones they put out this year, but it was a decent stage to watch. Like, the choreo, it's not an engaging song, okay? That's the issue. The song, it's a nice listening experience. It's not as enjoyable to watch, and I kind of wish they did a different song. They looked cute, though. I'll give them that. I liked these outfits. Like, they were no 2022 Melon Music Awards levels of powerful, but they looked good. Anyway, after Off the Record, we had some pretty choreography. It was nice, and then they performed I Am. And I enjoyed it enough. I do have a weird complaint, though. But hear me out, okay? When they were walking, because the stage was set up with, like, stage, you can't see my hand, stage, catwalk, like, center stage, another catwalk, and then the last stage, like, over to the side, right? And they walked from, like, one of the side stages to the center stage, and hear me out. You could see the shadow of the cameraman very clearly when they were walking. This was, I'm pretty sure, an IVE exclusive issue, because other groups did the thing where they would walk from, like, one part of the stage to the other. And maybe it was just the outfits they were wearing were better at picking up the shadow. Maybe it was that the cameraman was closer. I don't know what it was, but seeing his shadow low-key pissed me off a bit. Camera aside, though, this was a solid stage. Like, the song is good. The choreo is pretty nice to watch. Like, it was a good stage. Then, closing out their performance, they did Baddie. I don't like this song, so I'm gonna say song's bad, choreo's basic. I didn't enjoy the stage that much. As a whole, though, I don't think this was a bad performance, right? Like, none of these performances were bad. I think the weakness was just IVE's titles this year weren't the strongest, at least in comparison to, like, 2022 IVE titles. 2023 IVE titles weren't on that level. I did have a vision where, like, they could have switched out ideally Baddie, but honestly, either way would have been just as acceptable, and done Holy Moly instead, because I love that song. I think that would have helped. Maybe also do Blue Blood or something. Like, they could have incorporated B-sides that I like. Just, the stage was fine. They could have done better songs. That's the gist. Our next performer is the one and only aespa, and they started out doing some very good choreography, okay? Like, I feel like, maybe this is a me thing, I feel like I forget sometimes that aespa's actually really talented dancers. Like, obviously they are. They're from SM and their dance trainers are insane, but I feel like sometimes, like, I'll watch an aespa stage and I'll be like, yeah, it's good. Like, they have good choreography, but I forget that they're all great dancers. Like, no joke, this intro was one of my favorite performances of the night. It was grand. It was enthralling. It was what I feel like aespa should be doing with their main titles, like that kind of energy. I want more of that. It also didn't hurt that they looked stunning, like, because the lights were down, right? It was dark, and they were wearing dark outfits, and the only light was this red light, and it just looked so good. They obviously looked good with the lights on, too, and sure enough, after their intro, the lights came on, and then they performed Drama. Now, I've said this before, but for those who are unaware, I don't like really any aespa title, but I don't like this one either. And I also thought the choreography for this was a bit underwhelming, so I just wasn't all that thrilled with this stage. In summary, amazing start, like 10 out of 10 start, very underwhelming finish, although to be fair, to give them like the slight benefit of the doubt, I wouldn't have been any happier if they did Spicy. We have reached our first boy group of this video, which is ENHYPEN, And even though they didn't perform the song, I want to give like a casual shout out. There's this, it's technically a rearranged version of Bite Me, their like title from the beginning of the year. And it is the greatest thing ever. Like, I stream that all the time. And I'll put it in the description. I feel like it doesn't get the respect it deserves. Like, it deserves millions of views. It is so good. But now let's talk about the songs they actually performed. They started out, surprise, surprise, with a choreography intro. And it wasn't as long as aespa's. It was a lot shorter, but it was still pretty good. After that, they performed Still Monster. And I liked it. I enjoy the song. The choreo was cool. It was a great stage. Also, I want to point out the looks for a minute because they were wearing all black. All black is a very easy look to do well. Like, it's not hard to give, at least in my opinion, an all black look that looks great. These outfits were excellent. Like, they ate a little too much. Anyway, after Still Monster, we had a dance break, and it was great. Like, I actually really liked it. The choreo was amazing. The fire coming out on beat, I always love that. Like, it's a simple touch, but it adds so much. And overall, I just adored the dance break. Closing out the stage, they did Sweet Venom, their latest title, and I really like the song. I've said it before, but the song's a bop. It's just such a laid back and chill, but also still really fun song, and the choreography reflected that in a way. Like, they didn't do too much, but what they did worked really well. In short, phenomenal stage. Like, one of my favorites of the entire night. And we're gonna have honesty time for a minute, okay? It's been a while since I thought about really getting into ENHYPEN, because I never did. And I thought about it recently, and then their titles went downhill fast and I stopped. This stage had me thinking about it again. It was that powerful. Anyway, next we have another HYBE group. Actually, my favorite HYBE group. Fun fact, this is my favorite HYBE group. And for the unaware, I'm of course talking about TXT. Now, just like everybody else, TXT started out doing some choreography because originality is dead. And it was good. I actually really liked it. My one core complaint, they had a lot of Yeonjun focus. And while I get it, he's the most popular member, I understand logically, we had an entire Yeonjun solo stage. So maybe we could have focused on someone else. But if you want to know my thoughts on the Yeonjun solo stage, it's in part 1. But it's fine, because after that they did Sugar Rush Ride, and I love this song. Like, when I tell you I stream this song constantly, for context, okay? I streamed Sugar Rush Ride more in 2023 than I streamed Energy by Beyonce. And I streamed Energy by Beyonce on a literal daily basis for approximately 4 months. Anyway, this stage was amazing, okay? Like, the choreography for this song is so memorable, and it's so cool, and the song slaps. My only complaint is that their outfits kind of suck. Like, this is another set of outfits where I see the vision, like, I could see the sketch and understand what we were trying to do. The problem is the big sash looks weird, and I can tell you it's the big sash because I think it was Taehyun, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure Taehyun's outfit didn't have the sash, and it looked like 10 times better. The sash ruined the outfits. Back to the performance though, we then have a dance break, and for like a brief, maybe 5 seconds, I thought we were gonna get a Bumgyu solo dance break. Bumgyu is my favorite member of TXT, and I was so excited. It's not a Bumgyu dance break. The other members are there. But, like, I had a dream, and I want that dream fulfilled now. That said, they all did very well. I loved this dance break. My only complaint is the same as the beginning. Like, we didn't need so much Yeonjun focus. I feel like it should be an unspoken rule that if you gave one of the members an entire solo performance, maybe don't give them the climax of your dance break. Anyway, closing out the stage, they somehow made the outfits even more annoying for me, because in part 1, okay, I talked about Les Seraphim and their little Christmas capes, and I loved their Christmas capes. TXT tried to do the same thing. The problem is it didn't work, and I'm pretty sure there was one cape left standing by the end, and they were all just, like, littered on the floor, but I didn't like them. And then they did the Christmas version of Chasing That Feeling, and I feel like I could see the vision again, right? I could understand how with the capes and the Christmas version of Chasing That Feeling, it could have been cute. I didn't love the execution, and the stage was a bit mid for me, but I appreciate the thought. As a whole, though, it was good, okay? Like, it was a good stage, and I feel like it had the potential to be amazing, but certain things fumbled it, and also, I need to have a talk with TXT's choreographers. The actual choreography for the song, I get, is, like, set in stone. They're not going to change that. But for the dance breaks, I need to have a chat, okay? Like, We need to have a chat about Tooks' choreographers being essentially incapable of not prioritizing Yeonjun, because it pisses me off, and I need them to get better about it. Like, I was daydreaming when I was taking these notes, and I was like, imagine if we had a Tooks comeback without Yeonjun in it. Like, imagine if they were forced to adapt. I wonder what it would look like. Moving on, next we have ITZY, and as we should expect at this point, they of course started out doing more choreography. I will say this, the choreography ITZY did was good, right? Like, it was good choreography, but I need people to come up with new things. Like, originality has died and I would like some variety. We don't all need to do choreography intros. Remember when Twice opened a stage at one of these Gayos with the ballad version of I Can't Stop Me? Remember when that happened? Like, that was unique. It was original. It was enthralling. It was captivating. I think about it to this day. I want that energy back. Back to the performance. After that, they performed Kill Shot, and it was fine. It wasn't all that engaging to watch, but again, like, it was fine. I've seen worse ITZY stages, so I won't complain that much. It also doesn't hurt that I thought these outfits were really, really good. Like, there were parts of them that I didn't like, but it was primarily the shoes. I took weird issue with a lot of the shoes that ITZY was wearing. However, in most shots, you can't actually see their shoes, so it's not that bad. And to finish off the stage, they did Cake. I don't actually think I've seen a Cake performance before, so this was new for me, and it's fine. It's better live. Like, the song annoys me as a recorded version. It's better live, but I still didn't love the stage. Big picture though, this was a fine performance. It wasn't their best work. It wasn't their worst work. It was pretty middle of the road, and in the grand scheme of things, it's perfectly acceptable. Okay, next is the BOYZ, who they still did a choreography intro, but I liked theirs more, and I'm willing to take it because they added this like secret agent element to it with a briefcase. It had originality. It reminded me, I think it was 17. It was some boy group who, probably years ago now, did like a secret agent vibe intro DVD. I'm pretty sure it was 17. I don't feel like checking. After that, they did Watch It, which is a pretty good song. I would have preferred Lip Gloss because I think it's more fun and more engaging to watch, but Watch It isn't bad. The choreography is also pretty good, and they looked good. I liked these outfits, although I will admit, we're having honesty time again. I've seen the first frame of this stage probably 5 times now. Every single time Jiyeon has made me laugh. Also, hear me out, because it was the focal point of the intro, they should have opened up the briefcase at the end, right? Like, they should have closed out the stage, maybe have like a dance break at the end where they open the briefcase. That would have gone off. I would have liked to see it. Okay, moving on. Next we have ATEEZ, and I mean this with love, because I know ATEEZ stands are a bit passionate, I'll say. These were some of the worst looks of the night. These looks just were not giving what they wanted them to give, I'm so sure. Because again, like, I see the vision. I can understand the all-silver look and what you were going for. But what we got was just so bad. And I say this as someone who likes ATEEZ. Like, me and the bestie were talking about top visual boy group. I'll not be explaining the context or who we picked. But we were saying, like, ATEEZ really was, for a time, like, the top visual boy group. These looks were heinously bad. Looks aside, they only did one song. They did Crazy for him, and I hate this song, so I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to say I didn't enjoy the stage. I miss when ATEEZ had good music, and we're going to keep going. None of that matters because it is SHINee time, and SHINee started off doing one of my personal favorite SHINee titles, and just a piece of iconic music, which is, of course, Sherlock. And it was amazing, for the record. Like, one of my favorite performances of the night, although I am biased. I love SHINee's music, but either way, like, this was so good, because the choreography for really most SHINee titles, but Sherlock in particular, that era of SHINee was some of the best in K-pop, like, ever. Sherlock has such memorable choreography. The song is also a classic and a banger. The looks were complex. I'll admit that. I didn't love the looks, but they were fine. And just all around, this was a phenomenal stage. But after that, SHINee decided to really piss me off. They did Hard, a title track that I don't like. I think it's one of SHINee's worst, if not their actual worst title. And I just, like, I get why they did it, obviously, but, like, hear me out. We could have switched it out and we could have done replay. That said, the Hard stage still wasn't bad. Like, this is SHINee we're talking about. I don't think they could do a bad stage if they tried. The song itself is fine at the end of the day. I don't like it, but it's fine. The choreography is great because it's SHINee. And just, I wish they did a different song, but I'm okay with this. In summary, I love SHINee. I think, hear me out, it was SHINee's 15th anniversary this year. I wish we did something like what we did for TVXQ with their 20th, right? Where, like, you had other SM artists covering old TVXQ. Like, we could have had, like, RIIZE or something covering Replay. We could have done that. That would have been fun. What we got is fine, but I have visions for a grander stage. We have somehow reached the final girl group stage of the night, which is crazy because there's, like, 10 stages left. But either way, final girl group stage of the night, and it is, of course, GIDLE. And right off the bat, I need to point out, GIDLE understood the assignment better than everyone else. They said, it is Christmas. It is Christmas night. We're gonna serve Christmas cunt, and they did. These were hands down my favorite looks of the night. Like, they looked so good while also giving Christmas cunt. It was a moment. Now, GIDLE also only did one song, and it was Queen Card. It was a Christmas remix of Queen Card, and while I don't like the song still, there are still parts of it that I don't enjoy. This was a fun stage, okay? Like, it was Christmassy, it was cute, I had fun. But I also have nothing else of note to really say about GIDLE, so we're gonna move on. It is now time for our final chunk of covers. We have like 5 covers, I'm pretty sure, to go through really quickly. So first up, we have Taesan from BOYNEXTDOOR, Anton from RIIZE, and Hanbin from ZBone all singing Jingle Bells. Now, I've said this countless times in the last month or so, but just in case, just to cover my bases, I love Christmas pop songs. I just love Christmas songs, honestly. The fact that Christmas has happened does not negate my enjoyment of Christmas music. It extends easily into January, and I loved this stage. The outfits were adorable, the song's a classic, the background was cute. Like, this stage was insanely short, and yet I loved every single second of it. After that, Team came out to perform I'm Your Boy, and when I was watching the stage with the bestie, like, we were just going through the stages, she was like, oh my god, did they cover I'm Your Boy by the BOYZ? No. They did, like, a gender-flipped and kind of remixed version of the iconic debut by SES, I'm Your Girl. Now, I like I'm Your Girl. I've gotten weirdly into SES's music in the past, like, 6 months, and by weirdly into, I mean, I've listened to, like, 5 of their titles, and I really liked them. And I intend to one day listen to the rest of their discography, but either way, I like the song. It's fun, it's cute, it's a good song. And this stage was honestly a bit adorable. Like, the song's already cute and a bop. Plus, I like the outfits, the choreo was fun. It was a great stage. I don't know what to tell you. Next, we have the only cover of this chunk that is of a song I'd never heard of before, which was when RIIZE covered Odd Imagination by Jingle. For those wondering, this song apparently came out in 1996, and as someone who loves to learn, I enjoyed the 30 seconds of research I did Googling the song to find out when it came out and who it's by. Anyway, low-key one of the best stages of the night, not even gonna lie. The outfits were so cute. Like, I giggled at Sohee's sweater. I thought he looked adorable. Also, the song's a bit of a banger, and the choreo they did was really good too. Like, this stage, again, like 90 seconds long, also fabulous. Anyway, next is BOYNEXTDOOR. They copied their label mates, and by that I mean they also chose to cover a 90s girl group song, so they covered White by Finkel. And this was a fine stage. It wasn't as fun, I guess I would say, as I'm Your Girl / Boy, whatever you want to call it, the Team cover, but it was still good. Like, the choreo was solid, and I love a sweater look. Whichever member was in the sweater, I don't know BOYNEXTDOOR members, I can't tell them apart, but whichever member was in the sweater looked adorable. Aside from that, though, I don't have a ton to say. Like, it was 90 seconds long, and it was fine. Like, it was a decent cover. It wasn't my favorite of the night, but it wasn't the worst. Next up, we have ZBone. They covered Couple by Jexkiss, and maybe it's just that I like ZBone, but I thought this stage was very wholesome. I also liked their outfits and the choreography, and it was just cute, okay? Like, it was cute, and I liked it. Closing out cover hours, all the groups that I just mentioned, aka RIIZE, ZBone, Team, and BOYNEXTDOOR, all came together and they covered Miracle by Super Junior. And it was fine. Okay, like, it was fine. Doing stages, at least if you ask me, doing stages with this many people is always a bit hit or miss. I usually really only accept it when it's like a big opening or big closing stage where you have at the Gayos, like, all the groups are there singing. That's pretty much the only time I'm into it. That said, if they did, I'm like 90% sure it was last year. I should have checked. I'm lazy, what can I say? But I think it was last year where like all the rookie girl groups came together and did Cheer Up by Twice. That was a power move. If they did something like that, I would have been so here for it. Unfortunately, they just kind of vibed on stage and sang, and it was a bit boring. Alrighty, cover hours are over, which means it's time to move on. And next we have Stray Kids, who started out doing Battleground, a Japanese song I'd never heard before. Now, the members themselves don't really do any choreography during this stage, and I also didn't like the song that much, but the backup dancers were giving, so hooray for them. After that, they did La La La, and it was fine. Like, it wasn't a groundbreaking stage. I don't feel like watching it again, but it also wasn't offensive either. The main issue is I just don't like the song. Lastly, they did Megaverse, another song I don't like, and I also didn't think the choreography was that engaging. And yes, this is a trend. It's really just that I don't enjoy Stray Kids' music. Big picture though, this stage wasn't for me. Again, like, I don't enjoy Stray Kids' music. I rarely enjoy their stages as a result. Every once in a while they surprise me, but this was not one of those times. Also, before we go, I need to point out, going forward, like the rest of these stages, there's 3 more and Stray Kids, so these last 4 stages, the soompi article is weird. For all the other performances, it had multiple camera angles, and I can see they were filming. Like, you can see in various shots of this one, there's a cameraman, but for this stage and the last ones, it's sort of just an aerial angle of like one camera the entire time. It wasn't that enjoyable to watch because there's various points the members are facing away from the camera. So for these last 4 stages, well, really just 2 because the last chunk is NCT, and I'm just going to put them in the description, like separate links to these stages, because the angle detracts. Like, I've seen the Stray Kids stage twice because I watched it in the soompi article, and then I was like, I should find a better version. So I did, and I watched it again. And it is better when you can see the members up close. But I just wanted to point that out. If you do go into the soompi article to watch the stages, be aware, don't watch the Stray Kids or NCT ones. You will not enjoy it as much. Use the other links in the description. Okay, we've reached the last chunk of stages, which, as I just said, are the NCT stages. And starting us off, we have NCTU performing Baggy Jeans. And it was definitely Baggy Jeans. Like, the song isn't one I enjoy, and also I feel like the choreography for this is a bit basic in general, but especially for a group like NCT that I know as an insane citizen can do great choreography. This is just very underwhelming and just not for me. The one part of the stage I did actually really like was their outfit, specifically the mesh shirts. I thought those were really cool. I liked them a lot. The rest of it, it's a no for me. After that, Mark remained so the rest of NCT Dream could come out and they could start their performance, which began with SOS. And I don't know why they started out with SOS, because like, after seeing the Melon Music Awards Poison performance, I wish they just did that again. But this was fine. The choreo, for the most part, was good. There were some parts I didn't like, but for most of it, I enjoyed myself, at least enough, although this song is a bit too shouty for me. Then, to close out the stage, they did ITZY, a song I like, a shift from the past couple of performances, and spoilers, the future ones, but I appreciated this one glimpse of joy. And it was really fun. Like, the sparks coming out of the stage were cool, the choreo was great, the song bangs, like, it was a really fun stage for me. As for the outfits, they were fine. This is yet another set of outfits where I can see the vision with the jackets, and I can understand what we were trying to do. I just don't think we quite hit the mark, and I wasn't thrilled. As a whole, though, hear me out. This was a solid stage. Like, it was not bad. But the last NCT Dream performance I talked about on this channel was the one from the Melon Music Awards, which was phenomenal. And by comparison, this is just nowhere near on that level. Anyway, we have reached our final performers of the night, which is NCT 127. And starting off their stage, we have a shirtless Johnny drumming. No, I will not be giving you context for that. That is all the information you're going to get about this intro because I think it's very funny that way. You only get to know there's a shirtless Johnny drumming. After that, they actually surprised me. They did Kick It, meaning I think other than NMIXX, they were the only group to perform their own song that wasn't released in 2023. And I guess I appreciate the variety. That said, I hate this song. I hate pretty much everything about this song. The only redeeming part of this stage for me was Haechan's ad-libs at the end. The rest of it, I wish we didn't have. Then, our final song of the night was Fact Check, another song I don't actually enjoy. So yay for me. Once again, Haechan's ad-libs were the only thing carrying the stage. If I wasn't a Haechan stan, I would have nothing going for me. That's actually not true. They looked good. The outfits were good. I did not appreciate Shirtless Johnny, but other than that, I enjoyed these outfits. To summarize before we wrap up, 127 wasn't great. Not if you ask me. To be fair, they don't exactly have a catalog designed to make me happy, but if we are gonna do older songs, we could have done better ones. So, not thrilled, to say the least. But with that, I have discussed every Gayo stage of the night, at least for the SBS Gayos. The NBC Gayos are in a couple days. I'll do them when that one takes place. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts on these stages down below. Let me know how you feel. You can also like and subscribe if you want to or don't. I'll be okay either way. And in the description, I'm going to put various links to various things. You'll be able to figure out what is what. I have faith in you. And yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!